If you just spend the next 3 minutes paying attention, I promise you that it will make your diet 10 times more effective by just understanding one simple thing, and if you're not satisfied, feel free to dislike the video. So there's a simple change you can make or idea you can understand to make your diet much more effective, and it is something called death by 1,000 cuts. This was an old Chinese method of torture used from the 10th to the early 20th century, where a knife was used methodically to remove portions of the body over an extended period of time, eventually resulting in death. Now you might ask, what does a method of torture have to do with dieting? Let me explain. The first time I heard this idea of death by 1,000 cuts was from an entrepreneur called Sam Ovens, and he applied that same logic to how we kill our focus. Most people struggle to focus not because of one big distraction in their day, but rather 1,000 micro distractions pulling their focus away. They'll try to work and focus on a project but then check their email quickly. Then they go back to work for a few minutes, but then they feel the urge to go downstairs and eat something. They'll try to work again, but then someone knocks on their door and tells them something. Again, they'll try to go back to work, but then they suddenly start to think about what they'll do that night. Most people struggle to be productive and get things done, not because of one big thing, but rather all these small things happening every few minutes. They're not killed by one big shot, but by 1,000 small cuts. I realized this exact same concept could be applied to our diet and nutrition. If you ever felt like you tried your best to diet, but for some reason you didn't make the progress you wanted, this will most likely help you. A problem many people will face, and a big reason why people's diet fails, is not because they have one big problem in their diet, although that could also be a problem, but rather the fact that they have all these little things that increase their caloric intake on a daily basis. Their diet will be healthy, but they'll have a snack at 10 AM, they'll add some sugar in their coffee, they'll add a sauce on their meal, and they'll do all these small things that don't seem harmful, but in reality are. A diet that was perfect for them to lose weight actually became a diet where they gain weight because of all these small things that add up. You have to understand that these things in themselves are not a bad thing or a threat to your ability to lose fat, but it's the accumulation of all these things together where it becomes problematic and where a lot of people trying to diet down fail. So here's a list of small things that don't seem to matter in the moment, but in reality add up over time. Putting sugar in your coffee, putting milk in your coffee, putting any form of additive in your coffee, putting sauces on your meals, instead use salt or pepper, using cooking oils to cook, use cooking spray instead, it's a lot lower in calories, midday snacks, mindless eating throughout the day, usually snacks as well, and so on. I want you to be careful of these things because although they seem harmful in the moment, they can mess up your ability to lose fat, especially if you do many of them. So the next time you go through a normal day of eating, don't try to look for the big things that you might do wrong, but try to look for all the small things that you do or eat every day that add up over time and end up putting you in a caloric surplus.